In the history of famous rivalries, some are driven by power struggles, some in wounded pride, and others are a combination of the two. The best of them are emotionally charged battles that leave a trail of legendary tales. One such rivalry is the relentless feud between Henry Ford II, affectionately known as Hank the Deuce, and Enzo Ferrari, the headstrong maestro behind the iconic Italian car maker. The Ford vs. Ferrari saga, which received a full cinematic treatment in the 2019 movie Ford vs. Ferrari, is more than just a business deal gone awry. It's the gripping account of an unrelenting tycoon's desire for vengeance, willing to invest a staggering $25 million and countless engineering hours to reclaim his pride. Ford's quest was clear: to beat Ferrari at their own game in the most prestigious automobile race on the planet, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, an event Ferrari had historically dominated. The dawn of transformation. Our story commences in the early 1960s when a generational shift in the American consumer landscape was underway. The baby boomer generation had come of age, wielding unprecedented influence in shaping the business world. Their insatiable appetite for adventure and style set them apart from their frugal Depression-era parents. They weren't just seeking a mode of transportation, they yearned for vehicles that embodied sensuality, speed, and style, valuing performance over comfort and reliability. Sports cars were their coveted dream, and this yearning did not escape the attention of Ford's astute executives. In 1962, Ford was grappling with a consistent sales slump thanks to the infamous failures of products like the Edsel, while rivals GM and Chrysler soared in popularity. Henry Ford II, the CEO at the time and grandson of the automotive legend Henry Ford, was grappling with a company that seemed to have lost its way. The need for a game changer was pressing, and his top execs, notably Lee Iacocca, the Ford division general manager, argued that the answer lay in producing a sports car. However, there was one kind of major stumbling block. Ford had no sports cars in its lineup, and the production of the iconic Mustang was still a couple years away. A solution was needed, and it was perceived that the fastest path to the market was through acquisition. The temptation of Ferrari. In the spring of 1963, after months of intricate negotiations, a deal appeared to be on the horizon. Ford was ready to pay Enzo Ferrari a substantial $10 million for his entire company, an empire that was essentially a racing entity using its street-legal cars to fund its motorsport endeavors. Enzo, a former racing luminary himself, appeared to be genuinely interested in sealing the deal, as it promised to liberate him from the daily rigors of running the business. Yet as negotiations neared their conclusion, pride and control became insurmountable hurdles. A pivotal clause in the contract which stipulated Ford's control over the racing team's budget and decisions. Enzo Ferrari, the enigmatic mastermind, was unyielding, unwilling to cede control of the motorsports division that bore the illustrious prancing horse emblem. It was a test of wills. The Clash of Titans. In a climactic turn of events, Enzo Ferrari made his stand, refusing to accept Ford's terms. What unfolded was not just a rejection, but a denunciation. He branded Ford as, quote, an ugly company that builds ugly cars in an ugly factory, end quote, and even cast a shadow on Henry Ford II, insinuating that he paled in comparison to the legacy of his iconic grandfather. Adding another layer of disrespect, Enzo Ferrari swiftly sold a majority stake of his company to Fiat, a rival Italian automaker. Some within Ford speculated that Ferrari had never really truly intended to sell to Ford, but instead was using the negotiations as a strategic maneuver to pressure Fiat into upping their offer. Ford found itself not only embarrassed, but without the Italian prize they had ardently sought after. The quest for redemption. In the face of this humiliation, Henry Ford II, Hank the Deuce, harbored a burning desire for retribution. He was not content with mere compensation. He yearned to assert his supremacy where Ferrari was invincible, the racetrack. And the canvas for his vengeance was none other than the 24 Hours of Le Mans, a stage where Ferrari's dominance reigned supreme. This pursuit marked the genesis of the legendary Ford GT40 race car. Initially entrusted to Ford's Advanced Vehicles Group in the UK, the endeavor was propelled by an engine from Ford's Experimental Engine Group in Dearborn, Michigan. While the initial prototypes exhibited undeniable speed, they were equally notorious for their instability, unreliability, and the brakes in particular were a recipe for disaster. Innovative resilience. Ford engineers faced a dire challenge. Upon applying the brakes at the end of Le Mans-Mulsanne Straight, the front brake rotors would heat up to a staggering 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit in seconds, causing catastrophic failures. This was a glaring vulnerability, an impending calamity on the treacherous Le Mans circuit. To address this peril, the ingenious engineer Phil Remington devised a revolutionary quick-change brake system. This innovation permitted mechanics to replace brake pads and rotors during driver changes, circumventing the need to endure the entire race on a single set of brakes. In the realm of reliability, Ford introduced a groundbreaking approach. Utilizing a dynamometer, the engine was subjected to rigorous dyno testing, simulating the brutal conditions it would face in the crucible of Le Mans. This innovative method ensured the engine's unwavering endurance and robustness, averting untimely breakdowns. A racing transformation. The transformation of the GT40 extended beyond the workshop, venturing onto the racetrack. Carroll Shelby, the celebrated racing driver and automotive visionary, played a pivotal role in this endeavor. Together with the indomitable Ken Miles, a driver with an acute sense of the limits a vehicle could endure, they orchestrated a comprehensive overhaul of the GT40 program, elevating its performance and reliability to unprecedented heights. To enhance stability and aerodynamics, Miles and Shelby turned to the art of flow testing. Wool streamers were artfully affixed to the car's exterior to scrutinize airflow patterns. The objective was to refine the car's aerodynamics, reduce power consumption, and augment stability. Success in this endeavor would be the key to victory. The Leemon Showdown. The fateful day arrived in 1966 at Le Mans, a stage where Ferrari had previously reigned supreme. Ferrari, displaying an aura of confidence, entered just 2 official cars in the race. In the end, neither of the Ferraris would complete the grueling contest. Ford, in stark contrast, fielded 8 GT40s, an imposing display of their resolve to dominate. Under the stewardship of Carroll Shelby, the GT40s were piloted by formidable drivers. Ken Miles and Denny Hulme, Dan Gurney with Jerry Grant, and Bruce McLaren with Chris Amon represented the front lines of Ford's racing arsenal. As the world watched, the race would not only determine the victor, but etch a new chapter in the pages of racing history. Ford, with the GT40 Mark II, emerged triumphant. Ferrari was humbled and their Le Mans legacy tarnished. Ford claimed the first, second, and third positions, a feat that reverberated through the racing world. However, the victory was not without controversy. In the closing stages of the race, the desire for a picture-perfect finish played its part. Ford's PR maestro had envisioned the triumphant photo with all 3 GT40s crossing the finish line in unison. This image would symbolize their victory over Ferrari. Consequently, he directed Carroll Shelby to instruct Ken Miles to slow down and allow the other GT40 teams to catch up. As the race came to an end, a twist of fate unfurled. Ken Miles, in his pursuit of victory, had been leading the competition by a substantial margin. Yet after he obligingly slowed down as instructed, the win was snatched from his grasp. Instead, his teammate Bruce McLaren, who had started several positions behind Miles, claimed the victory. McLaren had covered more ground at a swifter pace, emerging as the unexpected champ. Tragically, Ken Miles would never have the chance to race at Le Mans again. In late 1966, during a test session at Riverside International Raceway in California, Miles lost control of a Ford race car and met a fatal accident, leaving the racing world in mourning. As for the Deuce, his thirst for vengeance remained unquenched. Ford returned to Le Mans in 1967 with the Ford GT40 Mark IV, a creation of the indomitable Carroll Shelby, who was now tasked with running race operations. The Mark IV emerged victorious, securing Ford's dominance on the prestigious Le Mans podium, while Ferrari could only clinch the second spot. The legacy of the GT40 endures as one of the most coveted and collectible automobiles in the world. With a price tag that could leave one breathless, the 2022 Ford GT starts at $500,000, and the track-only Ford GT Mark IV, said to be the last Ford GT ever, will cost a hefty $1.7 million. It's an emblem of Ford's victory, a testament to how the quest for revenge can lead to the creation of a legend that still captivates the hearts of car enthusiasts worldwide. In the grand tapestry of automotive history, the Ford versus Ferrari rivalry stands as a testament to the stupendously stubborn spirit of 2 automotive titans. It's a saga where a business deal gone wrong ignited a decade-long feud, resulting in a battle of innovation, engineering, and determination that forever etched their names into the pages of motor racing history. As Henry Ford II and Enzo Ferrari clashed, they forged a legend that endures, where pride met power and vengeance led to victory. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support is deeply appreciated and it helps us create more great content for you. Thank you for watching.